Namover. I was asked a question yesterday. What is the meaning of Hindutva? And is it the same as Hinduism, as many from the right wing claim? Apparently, this person was influenced by the flop show that happened over the last 2 or 3 days. You know, the conference I'm talking about. But let's answer the question nevertheless. So, what is Hindutva? And is it the same as Hinduism? It's very important to know how Hindutva is defined by neutral sources. So let's not talk about the BJP or the RSS or the left parties or the Congress or academics in Western universities. Let's talk about an unbiased neutral source from India. And for that, I have with me the Concise Hindi Dictionary, the Sankshipta Hindi Shabdakosh by Dr. Hardev Bahari, who was a famous lexicographer of Hindi and he wrote many dictionaries of Hindi. And this is the Concise Hindi Dictionary published by Rajpal and Sons. This is the 2008 edition, so fairly not too old, fairly modern edition. And we go to page number 475. So on page 475, let's see what's written. Hindutva, Hindu hone ki avastha. Let me try to show this. I'm not sure if the camera would capture it well, but here it is anyway. So as per this neutral source, which is a dictionary of the most widely spoken language in India, Hindutva means the state of being a Hindu, Hindu hone ki avastha. And this is not the only Hindi dictionary which says something to this effect. Let's look at 2 more authoritative dictionaries of Hindi, the most widely spoken language in India. So we'll first look at Mahendra Chaturvedi's A Practical Hindi-English Dictionary. And this was published in 1970, a time when India was more socialist than now. And here the entry on Hindutva reads, I don't have this book, so I'm reading from my computer screen. So the entry on Hindutva in Mahendra Chaturvedi's dictionary, Hindi-English dictionary, says Hindutva is Hinduism, the state of being or characteristics of a Hindu. And it gives an example as Hindutva ki bhavna is the spirit of Hinduism. So as per Chaturvedi's dictionary, Hindutva means both Hinduism and the state of being or characteristics of a Hindu. Let's go to now the Hindi Shabda Sagar, which was a large dictionary compiled initially in the 1920s and then revised multiple times. So as per the Hindi Shabda Sagar also, what does Hindutva mean? Hindutva means Hindu ka bhav, Hindupan, which is nothing but the quality of being a Hindu or Hinduness. So we cited 3 neutral sources, 3 Indian sources, 3 sources in the most widely spoken language of India, which is the de facto national language, de facto or unofficial national language. And they all say that Hindutva means the quality of being a Hindu or the state of being a Hindu or Hinduism. So that's what neutral sources in Hindi say. Now let's look at what the Oxford Dictionary says. So if you if you Google for Hindutva define, you'll be met with an entry from the Oxford Dictionary, which is the default dictionary that Google uses, and that says Hindutva is an ideology or movement seeking to establish the hegemony of Hindus and Hinduism in India. Now don't we see a very wide disconnect between what authoritative Hindi dictionaries say and what an English dictionary says? And why is this disconnect? The disconnect is because the people who write entries in the Oxford Dictionary on words of Indian origin, or people who organize flop shows and ridiculous conferences, have no touch with the ground reality in India. The ground reality is that an average Hindi speaker, or in other languages also, if you look up the Marathi Shabdabandh on the website of IIT Bombay, how does it define Hindutva? It says Hindutva, Hindu asarण्याचा bhav किंवा gun. So also in Marathi, and mind you, none of these Hindi or Marathi definitions cite Savarkar, none of these mention the RSS, none of these mention the VHP or anybody else. No individual or organization. These are general definitions of Hindutva from Hindi and Marathi dictionaries. So the truth is, the ground reality is that the large number of people in India see Hindutva as a positive term which relates to Hinduness or Hinduism. And a lot of people in Western academia or people who write dictionary entries for Indian origin terms for Oxford Dictionary, they see it in a completely different light. So there is a wide disconnect, but what I believe is that people who write in vernacular languages in India are closer to the ground reality because they have an ear to the ground, and those who are organizing conferences or interpreting Hindutva in a bad light or targeting the word Hindutva just for the sake of it, they are completely cut off from the ground reality. Now, answer the second part, is Hindutva same as Hinduism? So, mind you, Hindutva is, you can say it's a Sanskrit word because the twa suffix is essentially a Sanskrit suffix. And while there are differences of opinion on how the word Hindu came into being, let it be clear that Hindutvam is a Sanskrit word, and this goes as Hindutva in modern Indian languages. The very formation of the word has a Sanskrit touch to it, or Sanskrit suffix at least. The suffix ism is an English suffix which in this sense denotes, and I'm again reading from the Oxford Dictionary, forming nouns which denote a system, a principle, or ideological movement. For example, Anglicanism. So Hinduism is an English word, Hindutva is a Sanskrit or Hindi or Marathi word, and if you ask me, is Hindutva same as Hinduism, I would say Hindutva is same as Hinduness. As per Chaturvedi's dictionary, Hindutva also means Hinduism. So Hindutva is Hinduness and closely associated with Hinduism. That is my answer, based on neutral sources, not based on any biased sources or political sources, but based on Hindi dictionaries published in India by Indians, and that's how we should understand the word Hindutva. It is nothing but Hinduness, or the state of being a Hindu, which is essentially very close to what Hinduism is. With that, I will end this video today. Namo Vah.